It's showtime.
Look my cover!
Crush your enemies. See them driven before you. They hear the lamentation of their women.
Oh, shit!
I don't know what this says about these movies, but I was trying to pull up the Wikipedia pages for each one, and I could not remember the name of the David Ayer movie.
And that right there will lead us into the intro. Welcome to the final episode of the Summer of Schwarzenegger. I'm your host, Jesse. Today we have from Mind Brain Movies, Hope.
Hey, last we're doing Old Man Arnie, and honestly, I love Old Man Arnie.
Yeah, I like some of these movies tonight. Yeah, one I absolutely hated, but I've liked most of these.
I think that's the one I didn't watch.
Yeah, I think that's the one you made the right call. We also have Jeremy. Jeremy is back with us.
That's me. I'm becoming a regular.
Becoming a regular, yes. We're moving into Old Man Arnie territory. This is the time at which he has retired as the governor of California. He's back in the movie business.
Please.
The governor, he's back. And we're covering 3 movies, probably 4 tonight. We're covering The Last Stand, which is this film he did right after he got out of office. After that, we have Sabotage, then Maggie, and I also watched Aftermath from 2017. So yeah, let's get into it. So Old Man Arnie, it's great to see him still going at this time, man.
Yeah, I think I'm a little indifferent about Old Man Arnie overall. I think we're gonna discuss some movies that I would classify as good movies, but I think he's still yet to make his great movie post like being the governor.
I'm waiting for that Conan. I'm waiting
King
for that
Conan.
Yeah.
Still waiting for that King Conan.
I think he's still got another really big one in him, and I just don't think he's hit it yet.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't watch Fubar. That's on Netflix. Apparently, that's the latest thing he's done.
Yeah,
I watch it. I could
I
not
haven't
care.
seen it either.
Yeah.
Just looking at the poster, I was like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. We're gonna start out with The Last Stand, though. Yeah. So,
which I think is probably the most entertaining. Maybe not the best of the bunch, but the most entertaining of the bunch.
Yeah, it's just traditional entertaining. I refer to this as a very well-made standard action film.
Yeah, it's like a good Sunday afternoon. Like, so watching it, because I knew I had seen this one when it came out, but I kind of forgot that it's maybe more of kind of like a Bad Boys tone action comedy. Like
that's in due to the Knoxville.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Johnny Knoxville, it would not have that tone. Like, I think between him and Luis Guzman, like,
oh yeah,
which I love a good Luis Guzman appearance.
Yeah, much appreciated. Yeah. As far as Arnie in this one, this is his first time back in film after his time as governor. The one thing that was always put on a loop with trailers and TV spots of this is when he jumps through the window and during the last battle of the movie, and the coffee shop owner goes, "How you doing today?" Old. It's like he looks old. Yeah.
Did his accent get thicker when this movie came out? Like rewatch, I was like, man, I don't feel like it was always that thick.
I mean, getting older, you just kind of settle back into, whatever accent you've got. So
yeah,
maybe, I don't know.
Well, that makes me think of this Joe Coy joke he did he's like, so my mom came to America 30 years ago, but somehow her accent got thicker. Like,
just holding on to it.
Yeah.
Is that the stir the rice joke? Is that what that is?
Not the stir the rice, but like there is rice jokes. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
when I felt so validated though when that came out, because he was like, "This is how you check for the rice and how to cook it." And I was like, "I knew it, my fucking rice technique." I felt so like I was like, I am officially like Asian because of it. I was like, yes. Um,
You clean it
but
till the water is clear. There you go.
but there's a trick
And you
on how much
did.
water you put
Yeah.
in, and but
Yeah.
anyways, the undertone of The Last Stand I did like a lot because it was like talking about old people,
Yeah.
like people of an older generation.
Yeah.
I loved it because you have Forrest Whitaker, who's older and he's like your head FBI, CIA, who the fuck he is. And then you
FBI, I
have
think.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's older. He came back out of retirement, and that was his thing. Like he's the old man who retired from the undercover narc to this, like wanting to ease back. And then I also love the other undertones, like that scene where he crashes through. Well, not but the one right before where they're all in that diner and they're like, "You think I'm afraid of dying? I just ordered a double omelet with double cheese and a beer." And first off, and also they're drinking beer with their omelets. That's like life goals right there.
Yeah, morning
Uh,
beer. Yeah.
yeah, that's life goals.
That's gonna be
Um,
me in about 20 years. Like, fuck it.
right. So, and then he's like, "I just ordered the same thing," So, and
Yeah.
then also you have at the end, little old Mrs. Salazar, who just buckshots that dude, and he's like, "Mrs.
Much
Salazar,
obliged.
much
Much
obliged."
obliged.
She's like,
Oh god.
"Go get him, Ray!" Like, first off, they should have sent in Mrs. Salazar from the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
this was taken care of in 5 minutes. Uh, but I'm loving this undertone of like the elderly are taking charge and
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
caring, and I love it. So it's not like the most standout amazing movie, but I like some of these undertones.
It's like a perfect like Sunday afternoon action film of like, I just want to throw on something and watch some people get shot up. Like it's totally enjoyable in that sense. And just during that weird era of Johnny Knoxville playing everybody's sidekick for some reason. Because this
Yes.
is around the time I think he did that Jackie Chan movie as well.
Oh,
Um,
skip trace.
yeah, which I did not bother to see. But
You don't need to.
no, but it's like it's just like a fun little action film, and it feels very what's the word I'm looking for? Like it feels on purpose that this is his first like starring role post this because like,
Mhm.
hey, let's just get the old stuff out of the way. Look, I get it. I'm old. I'm not my spring chicken anymore. And it feels very on point.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's embracing the fact that he's old, he's over the hill. Like, lean into it. Don't try to pretend. Like, you look at like Tom Cruise in this Mission Impossible movie. It's like the guy's pushing like, isn't he pushing like 60 at this point? He's still he digitally de-ages himself to the point where he's looking like he's in
I
his
think I
mid
am
30s.
losing everybody.
It's weird. So
Some people just want to hold on,
yeah, we lost
Uh,
Jeremy,
Oh,
and there
and
we
he's
go.
back.
I'm back. Yeah, I immediately was lost after I stopped talking for everybody.
We
Well,
didn't go too far.
I was saying that it was like Tom Cruise and how he de-ages himself digitally in post production. It makes him look like he's 30 years old.
Yeah.
Still trying to hang on to his younger days.
Yeah, it's like at some point you just gotta embrace the fact that you're just can't do it anymore, dude.
Yeah. Like honestly, Tom Cruise would be way more interesting to see what he would do as like an older actor. And I can't remember. I
Yeah,
saw something recently. I don't know if it was just him on TV or something. Or I was like, oh man, he kind of is like starting to. Because I mean, the dude does look younger, but he is starting to show his age a little bit. And I was like,
yeah.
I would actually be like, what's an old Leonardo DiCaprio going to do? What's an old Tom Cruise going to do? Like to me, that's more interesting than trying to stay young forever.
Old Leonardo DiCaprio continues to date 19-year-olds.
Yes, that we do know at least.
He's trying to be the next Hugh Hefner.
Gross.
Gross. Anyways, so yeah, Last Stand. I remember enjoying a lot of the action scenes in this. I mean, it's not like an amazing movie, but it's like this is pretty
Yeah.
good. It's it's pretty damn well done. It's also
Yeah,
nice
I
to
would
see
totally watch this one again. Like, if it was just on TV, like, it's not maybe not something I would seek out, but if I just didn't know what to watch and it was like a Netflix pick, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, and then the cast is great. Was it Jamie Alexander is in there? Schwarzenegger, Louise Guzman, Johnny Knoxville. What's the dude
Peter
from
Stormare just slumming it.
Peter Stormare, Harry Dean Stanton for a single scene. Rest in peace, Harry Dean Stanton. What's the guy from all of Mike Flanagan stuff? You know his name? You know the deputy? What the hell's that guy's
Yeah.
name?
He's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach
Zach,
Gilford.
is it Zach Guilford? Yeah.
Zach Gilford. Yeah, that
Guilford.
guy. Yeah.
I felt so bad for him.
That's how you know you care. It's
Yeah.
it's also I love the fact that there's actually a lot of like genuine squibs in this movie.
Oh
I was-
yeah,
I was-
it's.
I
I forgot that
appreciate
it's like a bloody movie.
Yeah, there's some CGI blood which I don't care
Oh, of
for, but there's a
course,
lot of
but-
like practical stuff in here too.
Unfortunately, that is the way now.
Yeah.
This
As
is
far
the way.
as this is the way. As far as Arnie and the action scenes, which one would you say is the worst? I think we're all gonna say the same one.
If you say yours, and if I'll say if I'll agree or not.
The
I
bridge
only
at the end.
Yep, the bridge.
The bridge at the end. Oh man, that green screen is just the worst.
Awful.
It's terrible.
That's when you know, like, they ran out of budget.
We've done
Or
better.
maybe like
shit
a
on
reshoot
our
or
own.
something.
Oh god, it's so ugly. It's so ugly. Also, the idea that this wormy guy could somehow possibly take Schwarzenegger, no.
Yeah, no.
No.
Even at this age.
Even at that age, no.
I think it was just, he was cornered, and I don't know, but
God, he's 77 now.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But but that's what I'm saying.
It's actually, I believe it is his birthday today.
Oh, really?
I believe it is his
Arnie.
birthday.
What day is it today?
Today is
4th?
August 4th. Oh no, July 30th. Never mind. Sorry, we just missed
wow.
it. Never mind.
No, but I like that he kind of, other than that bridge scene, I like that he's taking the back seat to the action, though. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's showing, like, yes, I am old. Like, he's still doing it. But it was very sporadic, whereas before it was be like nonstop. So I'm like, I appreciated that they put his age into it. Just like that scene where he's like, "Hey, between you and me, I'm probably more scared than you." She's like, "Why?" He's like, "I know it. I've seen it."
Yeah.
And I like that they said that. I like that they did that. It's because age comes knowledge. It's showing his knowledge more so than his action, and I like that.
Yeah. He's not Dutch from Predator anymore. He can't
No.
physically do that anymore. Yeah. So the fact that
Still
he
do
lets
Terminator
the other,
films.
he's still that was the one I thought about going back and rewatching was Dark Fate, and I saw that I couldn't watch it for free anywhere, and I was kind of like, no, I'm not. I
It's
like
just
that.
the most fine. Like, it's really not worth going back to watch, to be honest. I mean, it's better than
Yeah.
Genesis, but
Yeah, it's the most fine movie, and for me, fine is kind of. I'm not really gonna pay for it, unless it
no,
really
like
requires to.
I already own it. Like, I own all the Terminator movies just for some reason. So like I watched it recently, and like he is kind of a backseat in that movie too. I mean, he doesn't even show up till like over halfway through, aside from that little opening sequence, which is just aged down. So like I appreciate, like, Dark Fate it's okay. Like, it's not a bad movie. It's just like I'm not interested in it. And
Yeah.
he does what he does what he does in that movie. So like, as far as talking about it as like an Arnold role, there's really not much to talk about. Like, it's more like Linda Hamilton or Mackenzie Davis.
Yeah, that's one thing that when we originally had a larger listing of films for the back half of Arnold's career, and there was a lot of like other films that he was involved in. Like, what was it, like VE2 or something like that? Was a film that he did. It was like with Jackie Chan, and he's in it for like maybe 10 minutes. He's Captain.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
He's Captain Cook or something like that. And
Yeah,
I'm just kind of
yeah.
like, I I don't need to go out of my way to watch a full movie to see 10 minutes of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
A lot of these movies are just like him doing bit parts because he's so old now and his rate is so high as an actor. So he's like, there's not really a lot of reason to go out of your way for those. So
And when it comes to Old Man Arnold, like there's not a lot we're missing. Like Escape Plan is maybe the biggest one not on our list, which I've never seen.
I
Because
just watch Fortress. Just watch the movie Fortress with Christopher Lambert. That's the only one you need to watch. It's the same movie.
yeah, it's like other than that, it's the 2 Terminator movies and the Expendables movies for whatever you want to count those as. Which
Mm.
I've only
They're
seen the
basically-
first 2. I only like the second one.
You can stop there. You can stop
Yeah,
there.
pretty much.
Yeah, they're basically glorified cameos. So.
Yeah, like I'm sorry, but the Fast and Furious franchise is doing what Expendables wants to do, but better.
That's yeah.
Even then, Fast and Furious, I've been over.
Yeah, I couldn't even pay me. Sorry, man.
I will not I will not hear the disrespect of one of the greatest film franchises of all time.
God damn it.
On that note,
Oh god damn it! But yeah, Last Stand. I quite liked it. It's enjoyable. It's fun.
It's fun.
Just that last action scene just is kind of the thing that sort of sinks it a little bit. When he's offered what maybe this is just me being a horrible asshole. When he's offered all that money at the end of the movie, I would have been okay. Send it to my account, and then I would have been okay. But I'm still going to arrest you.
Yeah, right.
Maybe
Who's
they
gonna
let him
stop me?
keep. Maybe they let him keep part of the money. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just my thoughts.
I mean, like I said, it's the most enjoyable. Like it's just like a fun romp,
Mhm.
and it's him kind of stepping back into it. And it was at the time it was kind of nice to see him because like when the trailers were coming out, I was like, I don't know, this kind of he's probably done. I don't know if he can do this anymore. When it came out, I was like, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, the trailers they were fine. The budget was 45 million. It only made 48 million at the box office, so it was not a great comeback, which is unfortunate.
And I'm surprised that it didn't come back just on his name alone, you know. But I mean, he wasn't like super popular at that time anymore.
A lot of people kind of moved on. They kind of moved on to
Yeah.
other action. Like this is a point where the Fast and Furious franchise had taken over.
right?
Like Vin Diesel and The Rock were our action heroes at that point. Like that's
Yeah.
what we had.
And like, say what you will about those movies, but they've managed to earn billions of dollars at the box office and have one of the most diverse casts in Hollywood, and like
fair.
have brought forth like tons of stars.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
that's a fair point. It is a fair point. It might not be what you want, but I'll give you that.
yeah, it's fair. Well, moving on, something that I don't want, Sabotage.
I did not watch this, so I'll enjoy what y'all gotta say.
You made the right call. So
And I only skimmed through it on this time, so I saw it when it came out, and I didn't like it then, and I skimmed through it, and I like it less now.
Yeah, I fucking hated this movie. So
It
this
is
David.
ugly.
It's gross. It's disgusting. It's hateful. This is David Ayer, who I have liked some of his films. I liked his film Fury, the tank movie.
And I haven't seen that one. I'm like,
so good, so good.
I'm curious about End of Watch. Like, I feel like I'd like that one. But
also
like,
very
honestly,
mean-spirited.
yeah, and I've heard that. But isn't that the point of that movie? From my understanding, I haven't seen it, but
I mean, it's the idea of cops that are kind of unhinged. But it's like we
Yeah.
could just watch the news.
yeah, that's true.
So it kind of sours it a little bit.
But I'm honestly more familiar with his writing work because I've seen Training Day. I've seen he wrote the first Fast and the Furious. Apparently, I've seen SWAT.
Yeah.
But as far as his movies, I've only seen Sabotage, Suicide Squad, and Bright. And what I'll say about Bright is the direction was not the problem with that movie. But Sabotage, all of it is just bad.
Everything is wrong. It's a terrible script. It's an ugly movie.
So what I'm hearing is, I saved myself.
You saved yourself. Yeah, it's incredibly gross. Basically, they're essentially a special forces DEA team that are trying to infiltrate. It never really makes it clear.
No, like in my memory before I kind of went back to revisit a little bit, I was like, I thought they were kind of like mercenaries. Like I couldn't even remember what
No,
they
they're
were.
DEA. They're like a
Yeah, and
SWAT
then
team.
yeah, it just doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, but they behave like mercenaries, and then they're trying to steal a bunch of drug money, like $10 million from a drug kingpin in LA, and then they're going to hide it at the crime site, so that way when the crime site's been policed, they can go back and collect the money that they stole. But then they go back and the money's gone, so you're like, well, who stole it? And so and then all members of a team start getting picked off one by one. It's like, well, who's doing this to us? And
Yeah,
then it's revealed at the very end of the movie that it was Arnold that did it the whole time.
yeah. There's not a likable character in this movie.
It's
Interesting.
yeah, Arnold stole the money and didn't tell anybody, and then two other people in the crew were killing off other members of the group. And by the way, the people that do the killing of other members in the crew, it's the woman and the black guy. That's not a great image. It's a really bad image. I mean, I like Joe Manganiello a lot. I really enjoy him as an actor. I watched this film Arch Enemy a couple weeks ago. I didn't care for it, but he's pretty good in it.
Even when he's in bad stuff, he's usually one of the enjoyable parts.
Yeah, he is never the problem. It's usually the stuff he's in that's the problem. And this is another example of it. He's good. It's just
he's too good for what he's doing.
He's too good for what he's doing, and I would have loved to have seen his performance as Deathstroke if we'd ever gotten to it. But yeah, it's just this movie it's a misuse of Arnold as a character and as a performer because it makes him so absolutely unlikable as a person.
Yeah.
And he seems to be a likable person. It's like you made him into a horrible asshole.
Yeah, it's questionable choices from beginning to end. Like, well,
multiple images of civilians getting murdered in the streets. And
yeah,
it's like it's vile deaths. The end where
no respect for anybody.
Yeah, there's a person that's on a bike that gets hit by the car that Terrence Howard's driving.
A windshield.
Splatters on the windshield, and she's stuck to the windshield. And then they're headed towards a flatbed that's picking up a car, and they can't stop in time, so the flatbed back end of it like slices off the top of the car, like killing the person in the windshield and the driver, and physically paralyzing the person in the trunk.
That part is like brutal.
It's so brutal, and it's so gritty and mean-spirited. It's just ugh.
And like, aside from the random biker getting caught, like I could enjoy a brutal movie, but like the way this one just tries to pull it off, there's just no redeeming qualities to it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not squeamish about, messed up stuff in movies, but like this one is just like it's all in service of something that just is not worth my time.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really not. Yeah. Also, this came out the exact same year as Fury. The exact same year. So he worked on these two films back to back.
Well, maybe this one suffered so Fury could fly,
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of is, he put most of his time into Fury, so.
Yeah. Fury is where all the effort went into. Like that movie, it's allowed to be brutal because it's tail end of World War II. It's a tank movie. It's brutal and it's violent.
Yeah, it's also like what truly happened.
Yeah.
And not just like make up for the sake of making it up for a movie,
Yeah.
It's like I was saying at the beginning of the show, I forgot the name of this movie. Like it's as generic as the name. I forgot the name of the movie trying to look up what we were going to be talking about.
Yeah. Is this actually the same plot as SWAT?
Sort of, yeah. Because SWAT is Jeremy Renner's the bad guy, and it's like, so in that they're transporting a prisoner who offers like a bounty for anyone who can like get him off. It's like, hey, I'll give you $1 million if you save me or whatever.
Oh yeah, he like goes on TV as he's going to prison. He's like, I'll give $100 million to anybody can get me out of here. Which is like
not a bad plot. Like,
but if you get arrested with that much money, you have no assets. The government seizes the assets, so he doesn't have any money.
He could have something stashed around somewhere in a foreign country because he's from
whatever. It's a movie.
He's from another country, so I'm willing to believe he has like Swiss bank account somewhere. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. It's not great, but yeah, and David Ayer wrote that, so
yeah. Loves cops. Loves cops.
Yeah, well, I am noticing that a lot of these movies feature cops.
Yeah. But yeah, the same problems that happened in Suicide Squad are the same problems here. Like bad editing, bad visuals. It's visually very ugly. It's mean spirited and no likable characters. And Arnold is completely misused in this.
Yeah,
Arnold's always like the good guy. Like,
it's
Yeah.
really him playing against type in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I understand when you're trying to do that, but the film we talk about after this, he is playing against type, and in that place it works.
Yeah,
This place it doesn't. It doesn't work because it's such a gross movie, and it's
not Arnie. It's yeah. I don't know.
yeah. You made the right
you
call not
really
watching this one.
you really could slot any other action star of the decade in that role, and it probably would have been better, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
Like Jason
Um,
Statham in this role, I see it.
yeah,
Yeah. He's more the grittier. Like, just look at the Crank movies. Like, I think
Yeah.
that would have been
I love to look at the Crank movies.
Yeah, I mean, and also, wasn't it in The Last Stand? He used to work for the DEA. His character used to work for he was a drug.
narc. He was a
He was a narc. In this one, it's DEA. So could this
Yeah.
be a prequel to The Last Stand?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, why not?
I mean, he technically
Well-
dies. He dies technically at the end of this movie, but
Yeah, because it isn't the whole thing. It turns out he's taking this money to go get revenge on somebody.
yeah, because it's
Like
his
it comes
family,
out of nowhere.
he busted a drug kingpin's organization and took all their money and all their drugs. And so they track down where his family lives and they take his wife and his son and torture and murder them and mail the pieces back to him. And so it drives into the point of insanity where he needs to get down there to convince the government to give him information to go after the people that did it. So
Okay.
he's basically getting the money to bribe the police department in whatever city they're in Mexico to give him information about where his family's murderers are.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
it makes zero sense.
You didn't need to pay for this, dude. You didn't need to pay for this. You could have just called Interpol. Like, you could call anybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really poor plotting. And then, of course, there's the big shootout at the end where he murders every single person in a bar.
yeah.
It's
so many innocent people just bited in this movie for no reason.
No reason
Oh my
at
God.
all. It's so gross.
By the main character. Like, it'd be different if it was like, oh, bad guys are shooting people and hitting
He
civilians.
shoots innocent people.
Like in Total Recall. Like with the
The guy on the escalator.
yeah. Like, you're like, okay, he uses him as a human shield, which is weird, but it's like, hey, that dude was already dead because the bad guy shot him.
Yeah,
This
it's fine.
this is completely just like, oh no, they're just complete disregard for anybody around them.
Yeah, it's there's no regard for human life, and it just
And like, I'm supposed to care about these characters?
I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care. I don't care about
Like,
any of these people.
You could have easily just taken Joe Manganiello and slotted him into the main role and just recast that part, and it might have played a little better.
It would have worked a lot better, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, this movie's serving nobody. Like, and maybe it was the balancing between doing two different movies. I don't know when the production, like maybe if one was just held off from post production for a long time or something, but
No idea.
it feels like this one did not get his full attention.
No. But the same problems in Suicide Squad. It's like the bad editing, the chopped up visual style.
It's hard to blame anybody for editing on that because I don't know who edited that damn movie.
Fair. It's fair.
Oh,
Fair. God, what a train wreck. Oh, man. Let's move on to a better movie.
Yes, please.
I have nothing else to say about Sabotage. This is literally just skip this one. If you were ever considering, oh, should I go through that? No. This is a skip.
No.
This is a hard skip. Yeah.
Bad. Don't
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah,
No
nothing good to say
recommendation.
about it.
Nothing good to say about it. Nothing. But one last thing. Our good old buddy Sam Worthington, Dravenich Kinnamington of Woodland Dulles is in this fucking movie, so that instantly drops it another fucking letter grade. It's just playing what seems to be a Nazi as a cop.
Yeah, kind of. Well, that checks out.
Oh God, fuck this movie. Moving on. Okay, Maggie, Hope, tell us about Maggie.
So Maggie is such an interesting role for Schwarzenegger to play, and it's like a post-apo. It's a pre-COVID film. Let's get this straight.
Oh, this movie, in some ways aged great, and in some ways aged poorly.
Technically a pre-COVID film, but
Mm-hmm.
but it's about, instead of like the virus is zombies, but
Yeah.
how it affects you is it's very like necrotic and slow acting. It's not like, oh, I got bitten 5 minutes later I'm a zombie. It's like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually had a mess. I think I put it in our group chat of like, I like, how does this become a pandemic when it takes like, I think they say 6 to 8 weeks for people to turn. And then I
Mm-hmm.
remember living through COVID and I'm like, oh, that's how.
Yeah.
mhm.
Government response, not great during COVID.
Yeah. And just people not like believing or buying it, like in hiding, like,
Yeah.
people turns out don't react great during a crisis.
Yeah.
But I will say I truly appreciated this film. It was really good. Him and Abigail Breslin, they acted, man. They fucking
Yeah.
acted. They You saw a softer side to him, even though he was like still very tough because he was like the farmer dad and he was out looking for her, but he was that soft, like the scene where he's like, hey, he knows he's gonna have to take care of his own daughter, like
Mm-hmm.
take care of her at the end. But the scene where he's like, hey, I know you don't have much time left, let me show you this, and he planted a garden for her, because like just like those soft moments like that I really loved. Or when he's sitting in the doctor's office with her and you could see him getting emotional over her prognosis, just things like that. I liked seeing that softer side of Arnie, the fact that you started to see more range, so to say, with what he was doing. um
Yeah,
I
it's maybe the most subdued performance he's ever had.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
powerful because of it, though,
Yes.
I
Mm-hmm.
feel. So it's like I appreciate it. I loved what he did. I'm glad he chose what he did. And it just I just really enjoyed the movie. It was a good like character piece for having like a zombie apocalypse movie. It was a good character piece,
I mean, there's only
Yeah.
like
which you don't really
4
get to
zombies in this
see.
movie.
Yeah.
Still, like,
I compare it a little bit to what was it, Diary of the Dead? Remember that, the
Yeah.
fifth in the Romero series, where there's only a couple of zombies and that one handles it really poorly because it's a bad movie. Whereas
mm,
this one handles it much better.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah, this one is much stronger in terms of you don't need a ton of zombies to express that there's a serious crisis.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting apocalyptic world because like just the scenes where they're driving around and you see like there's still a functioning world, like they're going to a
hmm
hospital and like people are still living their lives, but like everything is kind of destroyed and in decay. It's like
Yeah.
society is still functioning even though they're trying to correct and rebuild.
Yeah.
And I
Kind of
also,
like 2020.
Yeah,
yeah, honestly,
like it,
um,
it maybe is the most accurate of what a zombie apocalypse could actually look like.
Yeah.
hmm and the fact that just it was the small details too of how the responses, like when they showed their neighbor, like she wanted to hold on to her kids, because and it's like that shows what a true parent, how they would react. It's hard for a parent to
Yeah.
let go of their child. Like, I
And you
don't have the
see the juxtaposition
like
of other parents who like her other friend that is also infected, but they're like, oh no, we're sending you to quarantine, which they keep saying nobody wants to go to quarantine.
Mm, yeah. On the off
so,
chance they come up with a cure. It's like,
Yeah.
so like that's a question I have for you, Jeremy. Like, how do you think you would feel in that situation, since you are the parent? Like,
um I would never send my kids. Like it's one of those things where if it comes down to it, I'm doing it myself.
right.
But I could also see myself doing exactly what Arnold does and just how do you do that? How do you you can't. This is the most cliche thing you can say as a parent. You can't explain what it's like to love your child. You think
Yeah.
but like every day, like I've never felt this before.
Mm-hmm.
She does something cute, she does something funny, she does something silly. You're just like, how do you then be the person that has to end that? Like
Right.
Yeah.
that would be I feel like knowing what knowing what the alternative is, I feel like I could push myself to have to go there, but like goddamn, like I could also see myself just I don't know, man. That's hard. I definitely wouldn't send them to quarantine though, especially like with the stuff they say in the movie
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, oh, it's horrible, and they basically feed you a cocktail to put you down, and the doctor's like, it's painful the whole time. Like
Right.
I couldn't do that to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I agree, and I think it was pretty crazy, like how the one kid, her boyfriend or whomever, was like, yeah, didn't you hear? No matter what stage you are, they put you in. So like, even if they do give you the cocktail, the fact that you could be attacked by someone who's like progressed more, like what that makes no
Yeah.
sense. They should have like holding stages, but you know
Yeah.
why I'm using my brain now. Why did I do that? Uh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but going back
It's
to Arnie though, I loved his performance. It's
mhm.
truly like I loved it. It was a true parent performance. It was a subdued performance compared to what he normally does, and I think he really shined. Like,
Yeah.
And it's not a ton of dialogue in the movie, and I think that plays to its strength
hmm
and makes it more believable, more real.
Yeah.
Because I definitely feel like that's kind of how I would be reacting. Is just you're kind of just living in a haze because you don't. I mean, the movie's a metaphor for like dealing with somebody dying of a disease, like clearly.
yeah,
Yeah, dealing with grief, dealing with
Yeah.
loss. Yeah.
And these kind of movies have snuck up on me at the wrong time.
hmm
Mhm.
Luckily I saw this one in a bubble, but it's like I lost my mom in 2015, and then like right after watched Big Hero 6. I had no idea that
oh,
that's what that movie was about. So like, and we were watching it at work where I couldn't really turn it off. So it was like, yeah, this movie's pretty good. um,
oh,
like yeah, like it does it really well, and like it's believable. You can feel that he's probably putting himself in that situation of dealing with losing a child. Like he doesn't get enough credit for stuff like this, and I'm glad he took a
mhm.
swing on a movie like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I was when it came out, I saw this. I was very pleasantly surprised because because like your initial reaction is like Arnie in this kind of movie, what? But I was like,
Yeah,
it worked, and good for him.
Yeah. It
Oh,
does feel out of place for him because the budget for this was only 1.4 million. I mean, he took a pay cut.
yeah,
He did
but
not
he
make
didn't
any
really
money off of
need
this.
he didn't need the money though. I think this was
He
one
did.
of the like it was more like a passion piece, for him.
yeah. I would actually love to hear the story. I don't know if he's ever talked about like why he did this movie. Like it had
Yeah.
to have been a favor to somebody, or yeah, maybe just something he like. Oh, this seems like a good thing to do
Maybe he
because
wanted to. Maybe he's like, well, I'm just too old to do action now. I just need to move
hmm
into something else.
Yeah. I mean, so looking on IMDb, literally the first thing is he just fell in love with it and did it for $0.
hmm
Wow, no money.
So
Wow,
yeah, and
good
also
for him.
the lowest budgeted movie he's appeared in since the original Terminator.
Wow.
Wow, damn.
Good
Yeah,
for
did not
him,
did
dude.
not
Good
receive
for
any sort of
him.
payment, so not even a deal for like a back end or anything.
That makes me feel even better about the movie. It's like in
hmm
that case, yeah, it's totally a passion project.
Yeah,
And I
that's
love
and
that. I love
yeah,
that.
I'm way
Yeah,
more interested in somebody's passion project than him starring in like another big budget movie.
hmm
yeah,
And
yeah,
it paid off. Like, look how much we're raving about it,
yeah. It's probably the best one of the ones we're talking about tonight. Yeah,
Yeah, and this is what I said when I said like The Last Stand is the most entertaining. This is the best movie in terms of like
hmm
the filmmaking and the performance, but it's not one I would want to like just throw on a Sunday afternoon or
it
anything.
is
Oh
very
no,
grim.
it's
Yeah,
you have to be in a good mindset for sure.
Yeah, because we lived through this kind of thing.
yeah.
Mhm.
Not
Um,
literally this, but COVID. There's a lot of similarities. a lot of flashbacks to 2020. Get that
Mhm.
Vietnam face of just like the 1,000-yard stare.
And shout out to
years
Abigail
ago.
Breslin in this,
Yeah.
who's I've always really liked her and stuff. She like I feel like she's had some hits, but I feel like she's somebody who should have a better career than she does. But she seems to be doing all right.
She's doing okay. Yeah, I always confuse her and Chloe Grace Moretz. I don't know why. I think they have kind of the
Who
similar
also
taste.
should have a much better career than she does.
I agree, because I watched Shadow in the Clouds and it was dog shit.
I think it's because they're both blonde girls who are around the same age who peaked around the same time. So
Yeah.
that might be why, but not that they peaked, so to say, but their height in notoriety, I should
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, one is known for Little Miss Sunshine, the other one is Hit Girl.
Yeah.
Zombieland.
Yeah, but yeah,
Zombieland.
Zombieland. Unfortunately, she was in the adaptation of Ender's Game, which is like my favorite book and not a great adaptation. Not the worst
No.
adaptation, but not a good one.
Haley Steinfeld is in that one too, apparently.
In Ender's Game?
Yeah, she's in
Oh
Ender's
God,
Game.
she is. Who is she in that
Yeah.
movie? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, I don't even remember. I saw that movie once and I was like, wow, this sucks.
Yeah, I know who she is.
Yeah.
She's one of the other students. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a while. Like visually, great movie, but like it's
Rushes to
adapt.
the end. It just
Yeah.
rushes. It should have been a TV
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, it should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too much.
And also just some of the worst child act. Like what's his name? Who plays Ender? He's fine.
Asa Butterfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he's fine as Ender. Like I think he pulls it off, but everybody else in that movie is just not it.
Yeah. What else do you expect from the director of X-Men Origins Wolverine, dude?
Oh God, it is him. I forgot about that.
It's go see Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters now.
Seen it twice.
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
It's so fun.
I still get hyped every time I hear Bye
In
Bye
sync.
Bye.
Yeah. I'm like, I bet that's getting a lot of radio play right now.
Oh my
Oh,
god, that whole soundtrack is
Yeah.
banging. Oh my god.
I mean,
Have you seen like the clip where it was like joke 6 years in the making, and it's Deadpool screaming at Celine Dion like, Celine, you're here. This is Deadpool. You need to drop it. And she's like, I'm only at 11, motherfucker. And then he's like,
I didn't see this.
I knew I should have gotten in sync. And then it's like 6 years later.
oh, is that
And
what I
it's
saw some
Bye
people
Bye
talking about?
Bye.
I did see some people talking about like a joke that's been boiling since like the first movie, but I didn't know what they were talking about. I wonder if
There's
that
several.
must.
There are several like that, actually.
Yeah, there's a couple actually. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite gag is the stupidest running gag in the movie, which is baby knife. Just like every time he uses it, just baby knife. Like that is exactly my kind of humor. And honestly, Channing Tatum stole that movie for me. But
Oh yeah, Gambit's Hope's favorite character.
yeah, which I'll say that I kind of called it. That for some reason, like I knew that was going to happen in the movie. I just had a feeling. I don't like out of all the cameos, that was the one I was like, I bet they do this because it seems like something they would do.
Yeah,
And I was
Blade showing up was the one that shocked
that
me. I was like,
one-
you gotta be fucking kidding me.
That one really shocked me.
God, what a great thing.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't know that shocked me because I mean, Ryan Reynolds was in one of the Blade movies, so
I know, but they hated each other.
Yeah, that's what. And then there's even the line in the movie. He was like, "I don't like you," and he's like, "Yeah, that's always been the case."
Yeah, you never did.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
But apparently they're like friends outside of the movies, though.
Yeah, but they've made it. They've made up. They're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Also, I love. Nobody seems to talk about the little Ben Affleck dig from Jennifer Garner.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, oh,
sorry,
there.
I'm sorry you said. No, it's fine.
That's fine.
Oh, ouch. Ouch.
My condolences. Oh no, fuck him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
fun
feel a little
movie.
bit I feel a little sorry for Ben Affleck. He's been getting just the worst shit
Yeah.
luck.
For real.
But he can
He's
cry
okay.
into his millions of dollars every night.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So. But anyways, we're not talking about that. There's your little aside for Deadpool and Wolverine. Go see it. It's great. But yeah, Maggie, fantastic. The only negative I had about the movie is that it's so gray looking. That's my only
Oh, it's
negative.
so gray.
It's so gray. I really
But
wish there was
I-
some level of color.
I get that what they're trying to do though, because it's a very grim time. It's
Sure.
the,
Yeah, I get it. You're setting your tone for sure, but
Well, also if you notice how her eyes would slowly glaze over time, so maybe it's
The
like
cataracts would come in. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it might be the juxtaposition of her losing her color, losing her sight, because she's also in sunglasses a lot.
Yeah.
It's
So
true.
I think it might
Which
be.
the makeup on her is amazing also, by the way.
Oh yeah, the way they did zombies in this is genuinely good. I like the way
I
Yeah.
said I
the
think it's a
zombie
good.
vibe.
Just honestly, I think that was a good choice, a good juxtaposition. So
Yeah, it
Just
would have been
my
a little
2
better
cents.
if the film opened with more color, and then as the film went on, it started to
True,
decrease.
true.
Yeah. Yeah, because it is like you look at the poster, it's a very gray poster. The movie just looks like that throughout the whole thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just that.
Well, you also have
Yeah.
to realize too, like you said earlier, it's a very small budget, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Shades of concrete. That's the color palette.
it's better than the piss filter.
It's
Better
true.
than the piss filter, which Sabotage used actually. Fuck that movie.
Yeah. Again, ugly ass film.
Ugly ass film. So yeah, I think we'll move on. I think the only one that I'm the only one that watched this next one. This is a good pairing actually with Maggie. Aftermath.
Yeah, I've always been curious about this one. Like, when it came out, I was like, "Oh, this seems like it could be something that'd be good," and I'd never really heard much about it. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it.
I actually really liked it. It sits at what is it sitting at right now on Rotten Tomatoes? It is sitting at 41%. Bullshit. This thing is actually good.
I was gonna say, I remember you saying it was like a low score. That so
I was shocked. I was like, why is this so low? Like, this is genuinely well made. I mean, it's a good pairing with Maggie because it's about the same situation: grief, and
Yeah.
loss of family members. Because it's based on a
Mhm.
true story of this guy over in I think it's Russia, I want to say. Um, Basically, his family is killed in a midair collision. It's based on actual events surrounding 2002 Uberlingen midair collision, where a passenger airliner collided with a cargo jet, and because the air traffic controller just wasn't doing his job correctly, and so
That
it
whole Breaking
goes through.
Bad season 2 thing.
Yeah, I was thinking the Breaking Bad season 2 ending. It's that, but um, it goes through the stages of grief of this one guy losing his wife and his daughter's pregnant, just to add insult to injury.
Oh,
Oof.
wonderful.
Yeah, and so it goes through the stages of him dealing with grief, and eventually he just can't deal with it anymore, and he hunts down and kills the air traffic controller.
Oh, okay.
It's
True
based on true
revenge.
events. He did this. He actually
Yeah.
did it. He actually did it. Although the general events and reaction are very different. They did dramatize things for the sake of the
I mean,
film.
obviously, yeah.
Yeah, but his performance in this film is fantastic. It's so good. I was genuinely shocked. I was like, wow, he's really like. There's a moment when he actually finds, because they actually had volunteers, family members coming out to clean up wreckage at the crash site, and he finds, I think, his daughter's body hanging from a tree.
Ooh.
Mm.
Yeah, and you see him just break down and collapse, and I was like, fuck, he's good in this scene. Yeah, it's
Damn, you got me. I
really.
think I'm gonna watch this.
It's
Yeah.
genuinely good. I watched it for free. It's free. If you have Amazon, it's on Freevee. You can watch it with ads.
Oh.
That's mainly the reason I watch it, because I watched Maggie and they said, well, if you like that, you could watch this. And I was like, oh, it's free. I'm already here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just watched it for free, and I was like, damn, I would have paid for this. This is great. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Genuinely good
Budget
film.
of $10 million and only made $670,000.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think it was just a hard sell. It's just it's a hard thing to sell. It's like, oh, it's a story about Schwarzenegger dealing with the aftermath of two airplanes colliding. It's like, it's not really something you can market.
Yeah. I mean, came
And
out
I'm
in
not quite sure.
2017, which is a pretty good year for movies, for my
Yeah,
money.
it was a really good year.
But
I mean,
that might also be wise because there was so much happening that
Yeah,
year.
when did they
Oh,
drop
God.
that?
Gotten overshadowed.
yeah, Blade Runner was coming
Dropped
out.
it in April.
Yeah, I think Logan came out not long after that. It was a
Atomic Blonde was that year. Was my favorite of that
Atomic
year.
Blonde. Yeah, it was packed up with movies, dude. It was just
Yeah,
too
so I think
much.
this was just overshadowed.
Yeah, it just got stomped on, unfortunately. Yeah.
I mean, like, are the only really successful movies he's done post politics the Terminator films?
I mean, are those successful?
I mean, yeah, they made money to a degree.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know about Genesis. But I think
I don't
Dark
know.
Fate was okay. Let's see. No, 261 for Dark Fate.
Oh, that ain't good. Not against the budget
No.
they had.
No,
Mm.
and Genesis made 440 on a 158, so probably barely profitable, but it probably made some money.
But it was so bad that nobody cared.
Yeah. Yeah,
They
like, and
abandoned that
then
plot line.
obviously the Expendables ain't it.
Yeah.
Escape Plan made decent money, but not a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what else you consider it being like a good movie or like a successful film after he gets back into the business. Like,
I think Genesis might be his biggest box office return since coming back.
oh god, that's so depressing. That's so depressing.
It is what it
Jeez.
is. It's again, we're talking about Old Man Arnie. He's lived his peak. At this point, I feel like he's just doing it for fun instead of the paycheck.
Yeah.
So and he's just living. It's like, have you seen some of his videos? He has like a farm at his home, and he's just
Yeah.
like, yep, I love my llama, I love my alpaca,
He's
I
always
love my
posted videos of
pigs.
just like donkeys in his house as he's
Yeah.
like sitting there
Yeah,
drinking.
With the
that
donkey, look at the
like
bull.
honestly,
Yeah.
like he's just living his life. So the
Yeah.
movies, I feel like, are just like side projects. Like, oh, I'm bored, let's just do this. And like, honestly, good for
I mean, he
him. He
doesn't need the
deserves it.
money.
Yeah, he
Oh
deserves
no.
it. So good for him. Let him do these passion projects. Let him do these bit parts. Let him do these cameos. He's done his piece. Give it to a man.
Yeah, and now that he's related to Chris Pratt through his daughter, it's like he has an
I saw
in to the
that.
Marvel universe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, he's got to
What
show
character
up
does he
in a.
play?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
got to
what
show up
character?
in a comic book movie at some point. Where does he end up?
Bring him back. I mean, they said Star Lord was going to come back. You bring him back as another Guardians character because Stallone is in that as well.
Yeah, true. I don't
I
know. We'll see.
guess. I don't know.
Throw him in DC because Stallone already has Marvel. You got to keep those two separated. Got to keep the rivalry going.
You keep it going.
Look,
But
they
yeah, you
already
look at
came together, did their Expendables. Now keep them separated.
yeah. I mean, you look at like Stallone in his later years, and he does Rocky Balboa, and then he does the Creed movies, and it's like he's really trying as an actor.
I
But
mean,
then he
fuck,
does.
man.
But then
He
he'll.
should have won an Oscar for Creed, to be honest. Like,
Oh God, he so should have. He
so
so should
fucking
have.
good in Creed.
Yeah. Yeah. But then you look at things like Rambo Last Blood, and it's like, you know what? Fuck you.
I did not even bother.
You do
Oh, yeah.
not have to. We had
To
a.
be honest, though, I've only seen the first two like last year. I'd
Oh,
never
wow.
seen any of them. It's one of those things where I was like, I'm trying to clean up a lot of the classics I'd never seen. I was like, well, I've never seen the Rambos, so I got the first two, and I like the first two. The second one a little less so. I mean, it's like it's the way they change what those movies are. It's like okay, like I see what you're
Yeah,
doing.
that
But-
second one spits in the face of the first one.
Yeah, but
What if we could go back to Vietnam and we could change it? We could win, guys. Oh, fuck
Yeah.
off.
and they try to redeem it a little bit at the end, where he's like mad about the whole thing, but it's like you just made an action movie. Like,
You just made an action movie. You made it a big action movie. So it doesn't work.
but yeah, I think I watched those right before that
Skip
last
3,
one
go to
came
4.
out. That's kind of what I hear. But yeah, I'm just like I have no interest in that. But like him and Creed, like he's so fucking good, and King Shark and Suicide Squad for what that is.
On set for like a day.
Yeah. Like I think like if you're gonna compare those two, like Stallone's probably had the better late career, but
Yeah.
he also
Yeah.
does more. So
That's yeah. I mean, Stallone keeps going, whereas with Arnold, he's kind of like he's settled in. He's not calling it quits, but he's slowed down a lot. He mainly does like appearances. He'll do like a little TV spot every now and again. He'll do commercials, and that's kind of where he's at. And we should all aspire to that.
yeah, I mean he's got maybe 10 films since he's stopped politics.
Yeah,
Like maybe not even.
they're not great movies. I mean, some of them are pretty great. I think.
Doesn't need to be great. Again, these are just things he's doing to kill time, I feel. So fuck it.
Passion projects like Maggie or
Yeah.
Aftermath, like passion projects. That's what they are.
Yeah,
So
that's fine. Do more of that.
do more of that.
For that.
Yeah.
Like he's a name on there. I'll still at least look in that direction if he pops up, and I'll be like, okay, well, what is he doing? And if like you said that that Chinese movie he did, that Chinese Russian movie or whatever it is.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like that was interesting to see the clip online. That's not what I'm going to go out for, but like, yeah,
apparently
I'm going to
that's the only
see.
thing he's in. Yeah,
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, I'll watch Aftermath now. I'll watch Maggie. I'll watch Terminator: Dark Fate, Kung Fury 2. I'll take a peek at most likely, but
just for the weird abnormality that it is.
Yeah, like I enjoyed the first one for what it was, but like we definitely don't need to do that again. But they're gonna do it again, so
Apparently it's been shot for like 4 years, and they're sitting on it because of rights issues and lawsuits.
yeah, we'll see if it even comes out.
We'll see. So yeah, that's it. We made it, guys. We finished the Summer of Schwarzenegger. We did it all the way through the man's career. Oh man, that felt good.
A lot of good movies, man. Like he's a movie star.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, I mean, if he was never like professionally like going out to be an actor, he would be still a movie star.
Yeah,
you know, he just put a stamp on pop culture. Like that guy.
He is in history forever. Like
he
is
about
it.
Part of film history. Part of film history now. Yeah.
Like legit classics. Like yeah, he's got some really bad movies in his. But he also has some of my all-time favorite movies. Like Terminator 2 Judgment Day is literally like top 3 film of all time. Predator, for fuck's sake. Like, dude's a legend.
Did we lose Jeremy again?
Oh, sorry. Where'd you lose me?
There you are. No, we lost you for a split second. You came back.
Okay. But yeah, like, you know, for every Terminator 2, there was a Jingle All the Way, you know? Like, he's had his ups and downs.
There was a Batman and Robin in there.
Yeah.
Like,
I was gonna say
very evil.
Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we should get him back in a Batman movie to redeem himself.
Make him an investigator that's looking into the Penguin situation in Matt Reeves' Batman universe or something.
Oh, there you go. I can see that.
There you go.
Yeah, put him in the Reeves one. That'd be good.
Yeah, put him in there.
He could be Clayface. Aren't they doing Clayface as the rumor?
I have no idea. I think it's Hush is what I've heard is the next one.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
I mean, I'm fine with it too.
If anyone was going to do Hush, I'd rather Matt Reeves do it. So
yeah. But yeah, that brings us to the end, guys. We finally did it. Thank you for taking the time out of your weeks to watch all these movies and just go through the filmography of this man.
Hey, man, if it was going to be for anybody, it was going to be for Schwarzenegger. You know,
yeah. Honestly, some of the most fun I had was thinking like, oh, who could we do next?
We're not going to do anything else for a little while. Just taking a break. I need a break. It was a lot to watch.
There was a Summer of Schwarzenegger. We could do someone down the road, but
next year, Summer of Stallone. How about that?
There you go.
Oh, God.
Flip side. We'll see that.
Keanu
actually, I'd be okay with that.
He's got quite a variety of films and some bad movies.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you know, obviously people are going to think of like The Matrix and John Wick, but man, do you remember fucking Point Break?
I was just going to say, all I can think about is Hot Fuzz. He's like, didn't you ever just go in the air and go, ah?
Yeah.
Bad Boys 2 or Point Break? Which one do I want to watch, or which one do you want to watch first?
He's in my favorite football movie, The Replacements.
Oh yeah, they actually filmed that around here. Yeah, they filmed that at RFK Stadium. That's now closed down. Yeah.
And the movie they filmed around where I grew up, Chain Reaction.
Oh, nice.
That was always like the stories, like, oh, they filmed parts of Chain Reaction here.
I was gonna say, well, you guys can comment down below on what you would like to see. Give us some ideas.
Yeah, which actor should we cover next? Actor, actress, whoever you want it to be. Comment below. I think Reeves, as much as I'd like to see Stallone, Reeves does sound like the more interesting one to cover next. Yeah.
A lot of fun, I think, because like there's a roller coaster there of his stuff.
Yeah. We will watch Matrix. We are not watching the sequels.
You're right.
Oh, I'll watch them just for myself.
You do that. You do that.
All of them. Back to back.
God. No. That brings us to the end. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, you want to be a farmer?
Here's a couple of acres.
I'll be back.
Hasta la vista, baby.